Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. Happy Thursday, my last musing of the week, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone at Eric's house because they are making a wonderful event happen Saturday between 3 and 5. It's an open house, Meet the Medium open house. They've got good food. People are bringing pictures of their loved ones so that we can take a look at making some connections. And I'm just so honored to be a part of Eric's House. That's ericshouse.org. And it's for people who've suffered from the loss of someone through either suicide, depression, and or drug addiction, as well as other things grief-wise. But it's a very important organization, and it just makes me so gratified to be able to volunteer there and to help them with their mission and to create that kind of connection for people. So we are all sold out on that, but you know what we're not sold out on? We're not sold out on the class that's coming up with Amanda Chavez, who is a psychotherapist, and myself, and that happens on May 20th at 6:30, and that is our series on narcissism. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what a narcissist was like, who was a covert narcissist, under the surface narcissism. We throw that word around a lot, he's a narcissist or whatever. And a lot of times we really don't understand it. Selfish behavior is not narcissism, but there are different types of narcissism that we will be discussing on May 20th. So jump up on the website and get your tickets. An overt narcissist is somebody that we're pretty familiar with. This is somebody that's charming and gregarious and outrageously self-righteous and, full of themselves and bombastic and all of those things. And we're familiar with that kind of narcissism. But did you know that there is something called a covert narcissist? These are the poor me's of life that have everyone wanting to help them get fixed. And they sit around and twiddle their thumbs more or less and complain that the world is a hard place or that they can't do this or that because of one thing or another. It's because the sun is shining or the rain is coming or whatever reason or excuse they give themselves to remain in their poor me status. They are the kind of people that, suck your energy dry. Truly energy vampires are these kinds of narcissists because it's a constant state of complaining or a constant state of not being able to do something, but yet they're judgmental and condescending, and they're the kind of people that give you left-handed compliments like, you're so lucky because you have X, Y, and Z to do this, and so that's why you're so good at whatever you do, not recognizing that you have put your own hard work into creating the success. They give you some kind of a left-handed pass on it. It's very interesting kind of narcissism. A lot of times hypochondriacs are narcissists. They've always got something wrong with them, and it limits them and attracts people to them to constantly try to fix them. A overt narcissist is sort of like a heart attack, like it just it happens before you know it, after they've love bombed you, of course, after they've sucked you in and separated you out from your regular family and friends, and so it is like a heart attack. But a covert narcissist is insipid, more like a cancer spreading in you and kind of killing you before you're aware that you have cancer, because a poor me narcissist will attract somebody that really just wants to help and to be there, that cares, and so on. And so both types want the world to revolve around them. And I'm not going to teach my whole class here because, again, we've got that coming up on May 20. But I do want to give you the 10 signs of covert narcissism, and so that you have an understanding of some of that. Number one is sensitivity to criticism. Like, you can't help these people people, they've always got a yes, but. They're the yes, but people. If you say, well, why don't you go do this? Yes, but I can't because I've never been successful doing that. And yes, but I can't because it's too far of a drive, or yes, but I don't have the money for counseling, or yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. And so they're the yes, but people, and they're very sensitive to being criticized. And they don't even take constructive criticism well, because they are just always feeling like they're so important that they can't take any kind of advice. Even though they're poor me's, they still feel a sense of entitlement, just like the overt narcissist does. Number two is that they're passive aggressive. These people tend to be very passive aggressive. They have a deep-seated belief that their specialness entitles them to get what they want, but they have a desire to do that in a passive-aggressive way, and they often hold grudges. They want to get back at people that they have perceived have wronged them or have had a greater success than they, and so they can sabotage someone else's work or friendships. They can tease or mock and make remarks that are framed as jokes, or they can give you the silent treatment. They can shift into a subtle blaming that makes the other people feel like they're crazy. They love to put themselves down so that they can have someone else tell them or talk them up, and makes them feel good because they're getting that kind of energy. They can have a withdrawn nature so that people can come draw them out. They can have grandiose fantasies, but they always are complaining because no one recognizes them for their talents or for the work they've done. They like being admired for their attractiveness everywhere they go. That's important to them. And, they are always trying to bring attention to themselves in a kind of negative dialogue way. Poor me, but look at me, I'm Sandra D. Poor me, look at me, I'm Sandra D. They often have feelings of depression, anxiety, and emptiness, but they don't really want to do anything about that, because then they would take away their power. And that's what they feel, is that depression, anxiety. And I'm not talking about folks that suffer from clinical depression and real anxiety. I'm talking about the covert narcissist that uses the anxiety or the depression as an excuse for not stepping up to the plate, but they're still judgmental, and they still tell other people what to do, and they still make corrections of others, but then they excuse themselves because they have too much anxiety and they just can't do it. Again, a tendency to hold grudges, which I have already explained. They're envious of other people, and they can be bitter, have resentment, a desire for revenge, and they often feel just angry. They have self-serving empathy. That's what I call a foul weather friend. I had a relationship with a narcissistic person who was with me as a foul weather friend to help me while my husband, not Bill, somebody that I was married to before, was in surgery. And this man had a lot of issues. He had been diagnosed young with Alzheimer's at 59, then it switched over to temporal frontal lobe dementia, then it switched over to who knows what. He had embolism in his lungs, he was a diabetic, there was a myriad of issues. And the surgery took place the second time, because the first time his A1C was too high to have surgery. They thought that he would pass on the table. So this person came to give me moral support. And while I was sitting there waiting for this man to come out of surgery, all of the time this person complained about how bad their back hurt. So that all my attention was trying to say something about this person's back, and maybe you could try this, and have you been to a chiropractor, and so on. So all of that energy was taken away from my holding vigilance or space for the man I was married to. And it's just kind of an example of what this kind of narcissist does without even recognizing it sometimes. And then you have to detach from someone like that because, you know, what kind of relationship is that to have with somebody that does that kind of thing? So that it's kind of self-serving empathy, like saying, oh, I'm feeling bad for you, let me help you with this, but it's really kind of cornering you for attention, if you understand what I mean. So the bottom line is this kind of stuff, narcissism and so on, is very tricky, sticky, tricky, wicked. So if you're interested in narcissism, or you've been in a relationship with narcissism, please join Amanda Chavez and I on May 20th for that class. And I will talk with you next week. And as always, we are so appreciative when you are writing to us and saying, hey, Melinda, would you please talk to us about this or that? Or, hey, you know, I missed your talk on reincarnation, or I watched the video with you and Pat McMahon, and I have another question that I didn't quite get what you were saying. We love that, so that, you know, this is such a positive exchange on this page and that we can learn a lot from each other. So please do that and have a great day.